in this world where people are like sort of kind of creating personas about themselves, and you get the sense that all of the people in the gang, Baby included, are putting up this kind of front.
And he's right. Baby Driver has been subject to many analyses and video essays. Yet, as with every Edgar Wright film, there is always more to be said. Besides being a joy to consume, Baby Driver is host to many genius scene cuts, character developments, Easter eggs, and symbolism. This video will be looking at one manifestation of this symbolism: Baby's multiple disguises. They are used to separate him from his criminal environment, and each one is used to illustrate the deterioration of this separation. Baby's shirts, while not a disguise themselves, can be used to follow the state of his disguises. In illustration, Baby is in black and white for two reasons. First reason is that his and Deborah's romance is supposed to be similar to those you would find in a 50s movie, in other words, black and white movies. The second reason is that it's supposed to reflect his view of the world, black and white, right and wrong. This idea is taken further by Courtney Hoffman, Baby Driver's costume designer. She says that once things start going wrong and Baby isn't keeping it together, he gets blood on his white shirt. She also gradually dyed his white shirt to be 4 shades of gray so that as he's getting sucked deeper, you can see him get darker. The gray signifies that his world is no longer right and wrong. He is stuck in between, in the grays. This is expanded on in the dream sequence as well as the last scene. In the dream, he is imagining himself finally free with Deborah, only his shirt is black. This symbolizes his guilt. He didn't pay his dues, but rather ran away from his problems, still culpable. This is in stark contrast to the last scene, when Baby gets out of prison wearing white. On this scene, director Edgar Wright said, "The teller says, everybody wants happiness, nobody wants pain. But they can't be a rainbow without a little rain. Baby goes through incarceration to get to the rainbow." In other words, Baby goes to prison to pay his dues, freeing himself from the guilt, therefore wiping his slate clean. This is reflected in his white shirt. During the first half of the film, on the most part, Baby has sunglasses that completely shade his eyes. There are 2 reasons for this. The first is that they are part of his mask to keep people from recognizing him. The second reason is that they separate him from what he is seeing. This is shown by the fact that he doesn't have his sunglasses on when he feels comfortable. For example, the first time he meets Deborah, he takes off his sunglasses, suggesting that he is, or will be, comfortable with her, and that he isn't separating himself from her as he does with his partners in the robberies. Unfortunately, though, Baby is in sunglasses for the majority of the movie, meaning that he almost always has his mask on, at least until the end.
Move this car, I'm gonna blow your hell. 3!
The decision to kill Bats is the turning point in his life. It becomes the first step to shedding his life of crime and showing his true self, and the sunglasses show this. As he's running from the cops, he picks up another pair of sunglasses, this pair lighter than the previous ones. This is him trying to maintain his mask. But these eventually fall off and are stepped on by one of the police officers pursuing him. In turn, he puts on sunglasses that only have the slightest tint. These eventually are destroyed when Buddy shoots them, leaving him for the first time with no visual barrier between him and the crime world at all. Music acts as yet another barrier between Baby and his surroundings, which are oftentimes harmful. As a kid, Baby used his iPod as a way to protect him from hearing his mother and father fighting. Additionally, he utilizes music to separate him from the crime world. We can see this again in the following scene.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen.
Baby sees the robbery, but once again decides to be distracted from it by the music. As with the sunglasses, we see this disguise start to deteriorate at the end, when his involvement grows so that he is forced to be exposed to it. He doesn't sing or dance with the music anymore, preoccupied by his desperate actions to evade police arrest. But still, he tries to keep his barrier, illustrated when he steals a car and takes precious time finding a good song to play. Edgar Wright even hints at the deterioration in this scene, when the records from the movie's soundtrack are scattered across the floor, and again when Buddy yanks out Baby's earbuds, leaving Baby to face him without both his music and sunglasses, in other words, stripped of 2 of his masks. We can even take this a step further. Edgar Wright said the following in an interview.
Also, I kind of figured that if Ansel Elgort's character Baby has been stealing cars since he was 12 years old, the main things he would have inherited from these stolen cars are people's sunglasses and people's iPods. So when he's got other people's iPods in the film, especially the pink and glittery one that he has in the diner, that is not his iPod.
Yeah.
That is some woman's iPod that he essentially now owns. So he has her record collection.
The songs that Baby listens to are not his own choice of music, but came from what is in fact his criminal acts. By listening to the only song Baby chooses to own in this scene, it signifies the real him being revealed. The last layer of disguise, and the most prevalent, is his name.
Did your mom call you baby as a kid?
Sometimes.
His hesitation and vague answer could be him covering up the real reason for his name. As a kid, we can assume that Baby went by his real name of Miles. When he got into crime, he was renamed Baby because of his young age. But this results in a juxtaposition because the name Baby implies innocence, but he uses the name as his criminal persona. It may even be a way of latching on to his pseudo-innocence. When his real name is revealed, his last disguise is taken away and he returns finally to the reputable life he once had as a child by paying his dues. Once again, he went through incarceration to get to the rainbow. Do you agree? Or do you have something to add? Baby Driver is actually my favorite film, so I encourage any questions or comments.